I think we're live. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for, what is it? I think this is episode 99 of Ask Hearns Live.
We're almost up to 100.
Yep. So we're going to think of something special for the next one. Let's see if we're all going good. Let me just check here. Just got to set up something else here. Let me just check these comments. But what have we got up the front there? Don't give it away.
Looks like the car of the week has shrunk significantly.
That's pretty small, isn't it?
Like Hardy the photographer is bigger than the car. So will people even be able to see it to tell what it is?
Well, I hope so. So what do we need to know about
that? So we need to know the make, the model, the year, and also bonus points if you can guess the color.
Do you know what it is?
I do, I think.
Because I've got no idea.
I don't know the series name, but I know what kind of car it is.
Right. Well, there's a challenge for you. So, get your squinting on and your glasses on to try to look at that one. And then in the meantime, we've got a special guest as well. And before we bring on our special guest, you're going to show us something, aren't you?
Yeah, I am actually. It's been a really busy week with school holidays. We've had a lot of people ask me some common questions about getting started in model railways. And I thought this live would be a good opportunity to talk about some of the ideas that I give people who are quite inspired and they want to partake in the hobby and they want to make their first step, and what the best ways to go about doing that is. So we've got a few examples of some products.
Whoops. Because it can be a bit confusing, can't it? Because there's so many different options around.
Certainly.
Yeah.
I think probably the biggest option for most people is choosing the gauge or the scale of the kind of railway that they want to model. The two most common ones, and I've got these two carriages. They're identical. They're different scales. You want to come and go to the top camera?
Can do.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let's zoom in a bit. How's that?
Excellent. So we've got double O gauge on the left. So that is it's a British modeling scale.
Yep.
In Australia and America and the rest of the world, they have HO, but it's all a very similar size. This is probably the standard scale used worldwide, HO and double O.
Yep.
Largest availability of product, probably the best value for money in terms of detail and everything like that.
Yep.
So that's usually a good choice for most people. The second most popular scale or gauge is N, which is approximately half the size. So that's a scale factor of, depending on what region you're in, around about 1 to 148 or 1 to 150 versus 1 to 76. So approximately half the size again.
Yep.
Really great for people living in or who only have small spaces, or if they want to build quite a large, visually impressive landscape that will allow them to have more room for scenery.
Yep.
So yeah, once you've had a think about your space requirements, your budget, and what gauge looks and feels right to you, because I really encourage before people make that kind of decision that they come into a shop and have a look for themselves and get a feel for the different scales. Because
focus in on that because I was a bit out of focus.
Okay, yeah, sure.
How's that? That's better. Oh, where am I feeling here? There we go. That's much better.
Excellent. But yeah, it's really recommended that you get a feel for what these gauges or scales look like.
For sure. I mean, if you go for the bigger stuff, the HO scale, then you can definitely see a bit more detail. The N scale is, when you look up close, it still has similar sort of detail. But I guess when you're talking about bigger scales, then from a distance, it actually is more impressive, but it's taking up more space.
That's true. And you're right. The level of detail on the smaller scales is almost, in some cases, to the same standard as this, but sometimes those details aren't as easy to appreciate unless you're really close or you've got amazing eyesight.
Yeah.
So
which is not me.
So yeah, there's a good thing. So choosing your scale or your gauge, depending on which region, will depend on what terminology you like to use.
Yep.
Having a look and getting a feel for what looks right for you is an important factor. And then I'll bring up something that I think is a really great starting point for a lot of people. And that is a starter track set.
Yep.
So there's two real ways to go about this, I think, that are a good idea for a beginner. You could buy a train set, and that has everything included in it. So you have your power pack, you have your usually just an oval of track, locomotive, and some carriages. And that's a really good starting point for a lot of people. The quality of the equipment in a set usually isn't up to the same standard of what you buy standalone. And they do that just to keep the prices affordable and obtainable.
Yep.
But for somebody who probably wants to go after something a bit more sophisticated, or if the locomotives and rolling stock that they want doesn't exist in a set, they can go about creating it piecemeal, buying each individual bit that they need. And this is a really great set by Pico. And we'll have a look on the back, and we'll have a look at the front.
Let's go to this camera here. Well, it gives you advantages too, right? Is if you wanted something a bit more custom, then you end up here with quite a nice layout, which is all in one box.
That's exactly right.
Pick whatever train you like, and then you just need a controller.
Absolutely right. Yeah. It basically gives you a basic oval, and they've given you your overall dimensions here. So it's almost 1.7 by 1.1 meters.
Yep.
So that's great. So it lets you know what space you need to create this. And then you have some turnout pieces, which they recommend several different configurations. So straight away, you've got sidings to park trains, carriages, or create industries. And Pico Track is a very, I guess it's an internationally quite a popular brand. And individual track pieces and track sets.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hey.
Hello, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I heard the siren before, and I thought that was a police car coming to pick you up, and I heard it take off. So I thought
Oh,
you were
very
gone.
well could have been. No,
or dropping off.
or dropping off. That's right. I've just flown in. Thanks for having me. Sorry, Marlon. I didn't mean to, but I was looking forward to this. You said something about a starter set.
That's right.
I
You
lost
wanted to
my
learn,
mind.
didn't you?
I want to learn about this stuff. I don't know.
I'll give you a quick
What's
recap.
hashtag Heidi up to? She's bigger than the car.
That's
what is
right.
this?
Yeah,
That's
That's part of our Road Ragers range, isn't it?
I think
You're
you're
Is that
right.
right?
That is.
giving it away, mate.
Why?
That's too much info.
Well, they don't look that angry.
But look, so as Anthony said.
Who's Anthony?
Well, Anthony, he reckons it's a mini.
Well, it's a mini car,
It's
but
small,
It's not a
mini.
It's not a mini.
No. So unfortunately, Anthony, you're not quite right
It's
there.
smaller than hashtag Heidi. Sorry, Marlon. I didn't mean to come
No,
in.
no,
and
no
railroad
need to be
you, mate.
sorry at all. I'll give you a quick recap.
All right.
Please.
So we've had a lot of people come into the shop within the last week or so wanting to get into model railways.
Yeah,
and
me included.
yeah, and one thing that I've wanted to show people is just an easy way to get going,
Yeah.
particularly if you don't want to buy a set with everything included. How do you go about buying a locomotive you like, rolling stock you like, and then buying the whole set?
That's
So
right.
we're looking at these track sets by Pico. We'll just have a look down here if we can.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
I'll go back.
And yeah, and this is a great way to get started because you get a basic oval and some turnouts that you can arrange them how you'd like in a few different configurations, and then you can add on whether it be individual track pieces or little packets of different.
Is it big enough to put like a track on the inside, or is it already like the tightest radii?
This is a number 2 radius.
Oh, there we
So
go.
we've talked about radius a
We
little
have.
bit
I've been
before.
learning all about my radius.
So 1 being the tightest that's commercially sold,
Yeah.
and 4 being the broadest. So this is a number 2.
So does that mean I can put number 1 inside number 2,
Absolutely, you can
That's-
put it number 1 inside,
number 3 on the outside?
number 3 on the outside, and then number 4 outside of that. So that's actually what they suggest. You can add the next track set up to make a double track set with a crossover. So you can have trains going in both loops, and then have the ability to cross them over from one to
Shut
the
up
other.
and take my money, man.
So yeah, look, this is
You had me at choo choo.
I hadn't said that yet. But yeah, there's just a look at some of the contents in the box. You even get buffer stops to put at the ends of the spurs, which is
Need
really
them
cool.
if I'm driving, mate.
Yeah.
Pico's really nice. They got the nickel silver track. It's really good quality.
Pretty well loved brand around the world, and still made in the UK.
And you can put any like rolling stock on there. Is that right? It doesn't have to be like Pico trains. You can put Barkerman and Hornby.
Yeah, it's
and-
pretty standardized.
yeah, it's very standardized, isn't it?
HO and 00 scale, any of that will work on this.
But we
track.
seem to sell more of these like points and stuff like that,
Mhm.
don't we? Then what do you call it? I don't know, track hardware.
I would say
Then
so.
seems to be any other brand, no? The Pico brand seems
Mm.
to be really, really popular.
Yeah, it's really good quality. It's good value for money, and
Yeah.
it's known to last a long time and work well.
Tell me about a frog stop.
A what? Sorry,
Is it a frog stop?
a frog
Uh,
stop.
That's a different thing you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Well, there is something called a frog, and that is
That's
that's it.
A frog.
That's the point where the two converging rails meet. If
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
knows why it's called that, that would be great because I'm yet to understand the terminology.
There we
What's
go. A
it
bit of
called?
interaction.
What was
So
that?
the point on a well, with a point on a point,
Yeah.
or the area on a point where the converging rails meet is
Yeah.
called a frog.
A frog.
Maybe because it looks like a spread out frog.
I like frogs. Well,
Yeah, you got the back legs.
ask
the
our
front
viewers.
legs.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
That's
well, there you
it.
go.
If
anybody knows why it's called a frog,
That's
I
right,
would
let us
really
know.
appreciate it. I like
All right.
BJ's theory. So we've
Yep.
also got an N gauge
What's
set.
that's
So
like smaller.
that's it. So this one is compatible with this. So HO00, and then this set is compatible with N.
Whoa.
So
So,
this
so
is-
much more compact.
You're blowing my mind.
That's it. So this is essentially the exact same set, just in a smaller scale.
Do you know the only thing that I would be reluctant to start up with an Engage set?
What?
Is because by the time I get old enough to like play with it and craft it, I probably can't see.
No. By that time, there'll be technology to help you see.
Well, hopefully.
Glasses.
Yeah, you
I
got.
think that's
Yeah,
why
it'll
I'm
be fine.
enjoying 8-scale buggy so much now because it's like high definition RC cars.
But one big advantage, if the eyesight isn't an issue, is that this takes up a lot less space. So just over 1 meter in length and actually under 1 meter in depth.
It's
you
like
can-
apartment size layout.
Absolutely. So yeah, this really is. You could set this up on a board and
apartment size.
Yeah.
that's it.
We'll have to use that.
Apartment
Hashtag
size.
apartment size.
Yeah.
TM trademark.
So of course, you have to power these things.
Power it,
Otherwise, you're going to be pushing the trains around
making noise.
yourself, making noise.
Yeah,
So
that's probably what I
an
do.
analog controller like this one from Gauge Master, also made in the UK, just like the Pico Tracks,
Mhm.
is a really good way to get started.
Yep.
Who's
So
ringing?
I'm not quite sure, but
That's all right.
but we won't take it out of the box because it's pretty self-explanatory.
It's actually pretty compact.
But they are very compact, and they just plug into the wall. You have your throttle control, directional control.
Yeah.
And then this will plug into a part on this set or
Yep.
this set
And that will do both gauges.
that will do both gauges. So
And how many like locos could you run off that?
ideally just one.
Yeah.
Because you're controlling the voltage to the track. So however many locos you have on a bit of track will move
Yeah.
Simultaneously. But very few locomotives are actually going to run at consistent speeds.
Yeah.
One's almost always going to be faster than the other. So they'll catch up eventually. But
Yep.
yeah, so this is a really, really good way to get started. You got your track set, you got your
Yep.
power pack, and then that frees you up the ability to buy whatever locomotives and rolling stock
Yep.
that you need. Another thing that I would
And my
highly in your shed.
My shed and my power plant.
Another thing I'd highly
You got a
recommend.
power plant in your shed.
We showed it the other week.
Power
Power
plant.
plant.
Oh, you mean the
The
little one?
substation.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's
I
it.
thought you meant
yeah.
a real working one.
No. Crikeys.
I don't know.
Well,
No
this
one unless you ask the question.
this is we have a lot of books by Pico. This is one that's a plan book for HO00 scale.
A plan
in
book.
this one. So the reason why I like these is because they give you inspiration and ideas about what's possible,
Yep.
particularly within a certain space. So here you have information about wiring up your layout and using different kinds of accessories.
Oh, there's your turnout motor.
That's
Reminds me of a Tamiya catalogue in the RC sector.
It's pretty similar in that
Do
sense.
they
yeah.
release these every year or quarter, or is it like a magazine or?
Well, this is a magazine. This is more of a how-to guide kind of book, more than a catalog. But it does
Yeah.
highlight the products that they sell. But here's some examples. It'll get more complex as the book goes along. But
Yeah.
of a plan. And why these are really great is it doesn't just show the actual plan itself, but it shows you which track pieces that you need to achieve it.
Yeah, 'cause
and-
quite often that's a bit of guesswork, isn't it?
It is, and a part list. So
Yep.
you can go into a hobby shop, you can go into Hearns and be like, okay, I need this, and this.
Yep.
And then we can put together everything you need to create this. And it's also laid out in square feet grids, which if you do a little bit of quick conversion. Oh, and also in centimeters as well.
I was
Yep.
going to say, I'd be hoping that they would
Yeah.
move to the metric system by now. No, especially
So-
if you've got an apartment.
That's it. Everything's in square meters now, or
Okay.
square centimeters. So yeah, just some really cool ideas. Sometimes they give you a perspective view.
We've got an answer to what is
Yeah.
a frog.
Yep.
Okay, so how about I work out how to do this? Here we go. The term frog is taken from the part of a horse's hoof most closely resembles. Certain types of overhead electrification systems that make use of trolley poles have similar devices referred to as, hang on, I've got another part here. Wire frogs. On dual gauge switches, a special frog is used where the third rail crosses the common rail. Now that still opens up the question of why is a horse's hoof called a frog?
Well, now we need to on our own
And
time research
in
horses.
rail, there's panda clips and everything.
It's not panda clips.
There's
Panda clips? Where I haven't seen them before.
Yeah, there's panda
I want to
clips.
see a panda clip.
I don't believe him, guys.
Thank you, Jeff. Is that Jeff?
Yeah.
Did Jeff say that?
Thank you. My name is Jeff.
Yes.
In
This
fact,
is what I like, a bit of interaction.
Yes.
We can all learn.
because I've always wanted to know that, and that's an excellent answer. But now I need to research horse hooves and understand why they're named after a frog. So it just keeps going, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
But anyway, guys,
Maybe hashtag Heidi would like to take a photo of that too.
Hashtag Heidi.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
you know
everything.
that this is almost to scale with this car.
Is it?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Quite similar. So that's actually a model railway scale. This is HO scale. So if you're building an Australian model railway layout, you could put that on the road and it would be.
Don't say that. People
perfect
might think
size.
it's an Australian car.
Well, it could also be a French car or a German car.
Don't believe it.
But yeah, so that's a 187 scale car, isn't it?
That
It
is.
is.
You guys
It
are
is.
spot on.
Could you put that inside the carriage?
Could if it fits.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Given working out the logistics
You
of
like putting stuff
getting
in
it
other
in
stuff,
there.
don't you?
Why not? I don't like the window tinting. Why is the window tinting like pink?
What do you mean
I
it's
don't
pink?
think
There's
that's
a pink.
tinting. I think that's the
That's
interior,
interior colour.
color.
Is it? Well, there you go. Interior code pink.
You need glasses now.
That's right. I do. Thank you, Marlon.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Sorry,
no
I was
worries.
late. Oh,
No, it's
No,
all
no
good.
problem. It's
Oh,
all
no.
going. It's all going
poor
away.
Heidi's.
Just going down.
Uh-oh.
And I hope everybody has a good Easter weekend.
That's
Yeah,
right,
the
it's
Easter
time,
Bunny's
isn't it?
coming this weekend, isn't he?
It's hobby weekend.
it.
for
Hobby
many.
weekend. We've got a huge race on. We've got huge fairs, and we'll
Yep.
touch on that in a second. But,
That's it.
And huge family dinners.
Oh, yes,
That's
that too.
and
Excellent.
hot cross buns and Easter eggs.
All right, guys. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Marlon.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Alrighty.
That was pretty
Now,
intense. Oh,
let's-
where are we?
Let's catch up with
Who's watching?
all of this interaction.
Oh.
Okay, so I haven't been able to catch up with it. So
He's
we've got-
left he's left
All right, so we've got Retro Rob Cussa. He says hello.
Hello, Rob.
Tony Gray. I showed it before. He said he can't see it, which is quite obvious because I can't see it either.
So
Now,
can we
my
do?
game's just said hey,
So
and
wait, what about if I did that? Is that cheating? If we go on the overhead, is that revealing too much?
well, I don't know. Do you want to?
Why not? A bit of an
Okay.
expose.
So we've got a guess here, and that's from Retro Rob. And is it a Valiant?
Well, we
What are you
need.
doing? You put it back.
Yeah, I don't want to give it away. We need a color. We need a make and a model. Is that right?
Oh, so is that incorrect? It's not a
It
Valiant.
could well be a Valiant.
Oh,
It is a Valiant. And it's
now
187
Tony's
scale.
asked this question.
Yep.
Does it include a pink helmet? We have to use the microscope later because it doesn't very
I
well.
don't think so. It's going to be a little helmet if it does.
Right.
It's going to be a
Okay.
little pink helmet because it's 87 scale. So you take a big helmet, shrink it down 87 scale times. Yeah,
And it'll be a very small pink helmet.
that's right.
Right. Okay. All right.
What have we got, guys?
Well,
Has everybody been addressed?
I think so. Hang on. What else is down here? Oh, Anthony also said, is it a Valiant? Is it an S type? No, it's not an S type.
It's not an S type.
Is it an S type?
I don't know. Could well be an S type. I've forgotten.
You're useless. You're useless.
I've forgotten. Let
Yeah,
me have a
yeah.
look at the box.
What is that?
Yeah, it is an S type. What year did they say?
1962.
It is definitely a S type 1962. What gave it
Oh,
away?
okay.
So we need a color.
Oh,
Is
there's,
that right?
There's Nick.
Hey,
Good
Nick.
afternoon.
Welcome to the show. Everybody
There we
started
go.
their holidays, I
S
feel,
type
except
1962.
us.
That's correct. Valiant.
What color is it?
All right, so we need the color now. All right, so we need the
We
exact
need a color and we need a guest. We need to calm things down,
Absolutely.
bring some sense and sensibility to the show. So we've got a special guest on this week's show. He's come in. Yeah, he's come in to talk about his beloved club and some RC stuff because you guys got off lightly last week, I felt. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Dean Smith.
Welcome, Dean.
Come on in, Dean. You jump in the
Right
middle,
on.
mate. Jump in the
Hello,
middle.
everybody.
Get front and center. How are you, Dean? Welcome.
I'm very good, thanks. Thanks
Tell
for
us-
letting me come in.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am very late to the RC game. So I've
Yeah.
only probably been into about this will be my fourth year now.
Fourth
so
year.
yeah. So
No,
I
it's
was.
never too late.
It's never too late, no. But I was sort of we're in a really good track position at Bendigo because you can. A lot of people just drive past the main road there. I was
Yeah.
one of them who just looked in one day when they were racing and thought this looks really cool. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of fun. So came down and sort of got hooked on it pretty quickly. But prior to that, I didn't really have anything that was occupying me outside of the workspace. Needed that hobby and that outlet, and I thought RC cars was a great great thing to get into.
And it is good because it's, well, I mean, I'm a bit biased, but it's just so challenging and it's so time intensive. Like at home, you can put a lot of time into it and without spending a lot of money.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing about it.
You can spend a lot of money, but you can also spend a lot of time, and that's when the value comes into it for me.
Well, there's a lot of craft in it. There's the racecraft when you're actually driving, the skills there, and then there's also the craft in actually setting up and building. and
the enjoyment that brings and that bit of reward.
And some people like the painting aspect of it, or the creative senses. It's just there's lots of different variants to it that you get out of it.
So you've been racing 4 years. You've spoken about Bendigo Club. Now, the reason that Bendigo Club is close to your heart is because you are the club president.
I am.
So you are the leader of the committee. And they are a non-profit organisation, as they all are government run effectively, or volunteer run. On government space. So you are that. And how long have you been the president for?
I would say I'm probably about 3 years now. So I only sort of jumped pretty much on the committee the second I started there. I have an IT background. They had a need for somebody to look after the website straight away. So once I got in there, they said, right, that's it. You're on the committee and you can look after the website. And sort of all took off from there,
So that is fantastic because they really are, like, it does take a lot of hours of volunteering and the committee members and the club members to keep these clubs running. So
there's a lot of
people like me can just turn up Sunday, throw their car down and come and race and have fun. You know what I mean? But I've paid my dues in the past somewhat, but it's really good. And the committees and the presidents of the clubs of each and every club does a fantastic job and puts in a lot of time and is somewhat thankless. So, and since you've been there, so how many members were there back 3 years ago?
When I started there, I reckon we probably had around about 20, and then it started to get really low, actually. And at one point we got to the turnout, I think we're down to the 4 or 5, to the point where we're thinking, let's just wind this up. It's just not worth anybody's interest to do it. But we've had a resurgence since then, so we're doing really well now.
And how many members would you say looking forward to next year?
Well, we've got 60 at the moment, 60 active paid up members. We've got a goal to try and hit the 100 by the end of the year. We may get there, we may not, but you've always got to have goals to sort of aim towards.
Of course.
We do a really good way we go about it. We actually run a business plan. We look at things that we want to do to try and retain people as well as bring in new people, because there's two different scenarios there that you need to cater for. It's no good just trying to grow the club with new people if you're not retaining the people and they go wandering off, right, and leave. And in the 4 years that I've been here, I've really been quite staggered by the amount of people that come and go in RC cars, and it's always staggered me as to why 2 years down the track, where's old Fred that was here 2 years ago, and we're trying to address that and make sure that it's an environment that's really encouraging people to stick around and be part of a community that they enjoy.
And I think a lot of people sort of burn themselves out because it is one of those hobbies where you can spend like probably $1,000 a year, or you can spend $20,000 a year. And that's definitely not for everybody. So people will get into it, they'll start to learn, they'll get really excited, and they'll think the more money they spend, like the more money they spend, the faster they will go, the more races they will win. But after months or years of trying, that doesn't prevail. And they go, this isn't for me. It costs way too much money and I'm too stressed and I don't get enjoyment out of it. And they leave. So, human and us, our behavior and our egos, predominantly all males, we sort of get very fiercely competitive. And that's what we drive ourselves to. So
I reckon
we all take a step back and go, hey, this is toy car racing, and that's not meant as a negative. I'm not trying to curb anybody or whatever, but it's a recreation. It is a hobby. There's very few people in Australia that actually get paid to race cars. Probably you could count them on two fingers how many people actually take a wage from it. So the rest of us are just doing it because we like doing it. And it's fun and it's a hobby. And
I think it's cultural too, right? So if you can see the numbers in the club growing, then obviously the culture within the club is at a good spot.
You've hit the nail on the head, BJ, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to develop a culture that make sure that everybody feels like they're involved, they're appreciated, they're entertained, and they go out from the end of the day saying, I'm going to be back next week.
And that's why Bendigo is the #1 on-road club in Victoria at the moment. And that's why we're getting behind Bendigo. And we're doing a bit of sponsorship moving forward. We're in the process of getting some T-shirts made.
We certainly are. We can't wait to get those.
I haven't been across it as much as I should have been. And tell us a little bit about what's happening on the weekend.
Yeah, so this weekend, another one of the arms that we're trying to develop in terms of trying to promote the club and get us up and running and promoted out in the community is to start doing some community-based events. And one of the big ones, which was actually supposed to happen back in 2020, was the Easter Festival for Bendigo. It's a large outdoor event, one of the biggest ones in Australia.
Yeah.
And it was the 150th anniversary back in 2020. We had it all teed up so that we were going to do a demonstration race on the streets there. It was going to be fantastic. COVID put an end to it, as it did last year. But they're back this year. So they're running it again as the 150th. Being a special commemoration one, it's a 4-day event starting tomorrow. So Good Friday through to Easter Monday. We're going to be racing in the mall, Bendigo Mall, on a makeshift track on Easter Saturday. Which is going to be fantastic. And the crowd that you get for the Easter Festival is great at the best of times, and we think it's a really good opportunity for us to showcase, not only the our club but the greater RC community as well. We've got some pamphlets that we made up a couple of years ago that shows the details of all the clubs. We want to try and promote it across, for everybody's benefit, not just Bendigo's, but because a lot of the people that go to the Bendigo Easter Fair are from Melbourne, right? It's a very big tourism event, so. There's a lot of opportunities there, and hopefully we get a really big crowd and put on a good display.
It's a good chance there's going to be a big crowd, I think, because since a lot of events haven't been available to actually visit.
If the F1's anything to go by, I mean, that was put off for 2 years, and look, they had the biggest crowd that they've ever had in Australia.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be, beautiful weather. So
it's a good time of year.
Yeah, it is best time of year.
And Hearns has gotten behind Bendigo Club.
Sure have.
So we've put our hand up and we've come forward with a Tamiya truck racing package. A TTO1 Euro truck racing package, which is effectively a get it running package.
Well, this is what they look like.
And this is one of the staple classes at Bendigo. And this is I think, part of the club's success is that they really encourage junior drivers, novice and new people to the club.
I'm going to pop this up again. So Peter Malia is thanking us for the Easter raffle with the Bendigo RC raffle. So there will be a raffle then.
Yeah. So there's definitely a raffle. We've put up the raffle prize, which is one of these kits.
It's not just the kit; it's everything that you need to run.
Yeah, so you can turn up on a race day and go racing. There's a battery, there's a charger, there's a radio, and the kit. So it's not going to have a fancy paint job like this one. You'll have to paint it yourself.
It's a good job, isn't it?
Apparently, I'll be racing this one on Saturday, I've been told.
Yeah.
I will be there in person.
And I'll be there second.
You'll be there.
Yeah, I'll take second light after you've rolled it.
I'll FaceTime you in on the driver's stand.
Yay!
Yeah. So it's going to be really cool. Now, Matthew Jenkins has painted. This is Matthew Jenkins.
He has,
This is for his son, Harry.
It is.
This is a brand new lid, and he's going to put that on the track, which is somewhat of a shame. It is absolutely beautiful. He's knocked out the park. But that is a TTO1 Euro truck chassis. And to get up and going, as far as racing an RC car costs, it's probably the cheapest entry level. You're sort of looking at around $500 ish, I suppose, realistically.
For everything, yeah.
For everything to get you up and going, which is, really, really cost effective and cheap for a lot of people.
Yeah.
For a hobby and something you can put a lot of time and effort into. So, and the club does, like I said, they thrive on that. So how many trucks do you usually get?
Oh, we usually have a class of probably about 7 or 8 maybe.
You've really got 3 entry-level classes. Is that right? So you've got the truck class.
Yep.
You've got the Tamiya class.
Yep.
Which is effectively the same chassis, or this one here.
And look, the great thing about that is clearly you take the truck body off it, you put a touring car body on it, and away you go. It's the same car. You can run in 2 different classes. So it's really versatile in that regard.
So we've got that, and then you've got the crochet class, which is really good. And that's taken off because those cars actually come pre-assembled.
They do, yeah. With a beautiful body and paint job already done on it. So
so you literally just need a battery and charger for those suckers, and you can put them on track and go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't actually been there to one of the races where the Porsche class is, but yeah, looking forward to 2022 and beyond. We're looking to get into that and help support the club in a way that they'd like to go.
Yeah,
so,
no, it's fantastic. But you're spot on, Brett, in terms of the RTR stuff. The ready to run things are really what has driven the success or the growth in the club. And I think it's because it's just a very low barrier to entry. It's not just the cost side of things, but it's also appealing to people that have had nothing to do with RC cars and don't know how to build a kit or have the interest to build a kit, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's really good, especially with kids. Kids love it because put it down, turn it on, and off you go. So it's really, really successful. But we were initially probably a little bit concerned that it was going to cannibalize the touring car classes as well, a little bit, like not encourage people to go down that. But as we sort of suspected, that hasn't occurred. What's happened is people are getting in at the entry-level classes. They're going there, they're enjoying it, they're getting hooked on it.
Yeah.
They're going, gee, they're watching a touring car class and go, I want to do that next. So we're really seeing the push through now from the beginners that start off in the ready-to-run classes as they're coming through the 21.5 and the 13.5. And we've got really healthy full fields of those now too.
Yeah,
so
and a lot of people come up from Melbourne to visit your club because the numbers are good, the facilities are great, the track's fantastic, and it's a great atmosphere. And realistically, it's an hour and a half from CBD?
Yeah, it's not that far, really.
So it's a quick jump up the freeway and you're there. And the weather's usually pretty good.
Usually.
Yeah, unless you guys have a big event and it usually rains.
That's it.
But so, and it is a lot different to the pro level. I want the competition level touring cars where the kits are up around $1,000.
Yeah.
Then you've got $600 worth of electrics and, $450 worth of batteries to go racing for the day. So it's a lot different, cost effective. People can get into it. And I think it's a real tribute to the club and yourselves, the committee, for building the club up in such a way.
For sure.
And Hearns is really, really happy to be behind you guys.
No, we really appreciate the support, and we're going to do some good things this year together. And I think it's going to continue to grow, not just the the entry level classes, but as I said, it just continues through all of them, which has a really good flow-on effect.
Well, you got a lot of support here too, because we've got here. So Tony Gray says Dino rocks.
Yeah.
And then we've got.
That's the nicest thing I think he's ever said about anybody.
I feel very privileged to hear that.
So Jeff, he says you're a great president of the Bendigo RC Club.
Yeah.
And then Pete, he says you're doing a great job too.
These people, you put them up to this. That we never have this much interaction.
This is amazing.
Seriously, people just talking about pink
I'll fix these up later, guys.
So there you go. So you're definitely doing a good job for people to be saying nice things like that.
Thank you. The other thing that I just want to touch on briefly is probably the fact that, these are great cars because they're great for kids, right? They're pretty much indestructible, right? So great as a starting car for kids, but kids themselves are a really interesting category for us because not only clearly you want to retain kids, you want to get them in, but you want to retain them. And it's a difficult thing to do because clearly there's a lot of competing priorities, activities with kids, right?
Of course.
And if you've got to keep them there at a club for a race day from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, to try and keep them engaged across that whole time frame is a really tough thing to do when they might be racing 6 minutes every hour as you do around. So we're really trying to work with kids to make sure that we're keeping them engaged and feeling part of the environment. And we're forever looking at ways to make sure that we're making sure that their time there is something that they want to come back to for the following week, because it's no point just getting them there and then seeing them disappear, a couple of weeks later and they're off to the soccer.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like you said, that is the thing about it, as opposed to soccer where you just turn up, play your soccer and go home. The RC racing, it does generally take like all day.
Yeah. It's a challenge, right?
It is a challenge, especially when you've got, you might only one sibling, you know what I mean? You might have a whole, and they might all be doing different things. So it does make it quite time intensive.
Yeah. So we've really got to try and we'll be doing that this year to really try and focus on and prioritize the kids and how we do that. We might look at running kids twice around, for example, so that they're sitting there half the time idle as what they were previously, that sort of thing. So
because these cars in as a rule should really need the least amount of work. And then realistically they probably shouldn't even need a charge between rounds. You probably go like 2 or 3 rounds without putting them, if they're anything like the comical car.
Well, they're pretty efficient these days, aren't they?
They're pretty efficient. They run a brushed motor, and we've got LiPo batteries now, which is just something that 20 years ago, which effectively the platform is something that they didn't have. So the LiPo is easily the strongest part of the car.
Most of the guys easily get 2 races out of it, particularly they'll forget to charge it. between races, and whoops, and it'll still go around the second round, no problem.
That's right. That's exactly right. So, no, I think you're doing fantastic things there. Like I said, we're really happy to be behind it.
No, we appreciate your support for sure.
Matty Jenkins has brought us an awesome truck to put on camera.
Yeah, he has. So Mark Dixon has also mentioned that they travel up from Melbourne often and run at Bendigo, and they always enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah, and look,
yes,
I certainly don't want
to.
I don't want to be negative towards any other club, but the fact that we're driving some people to come up to us is really rewarding and pleasing for us.
Yeah, it's good.
By all means, we obviously want to encourage everybody to go to all of the clubs, but the fact that we are getting a lot of that traffic up from Melbourne now does speak to our culture, I think, and the way that everybody walks away thinking there was just a generally good, relaxed day, which is what we're trying to strive for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be there at the Easter Fair on Saturday.
Okay, yeah, it's going to be a great day.
I'll be belting around. So
this one, right?
That one, I wish that one. That's out of my hands. I'll get an old banger.
Oh, fair enough then.
It's blue and orange like Dan Ricciardo, the golf.
That sounds fast.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fast.
Yep.
But no, it's not going to be I won't be racing per se. I'll be circulating, having fun, talking to people, promoting the hobby and the club. And that's what it's all about.
It's going to be a really interesting day, right? So far from the norm to what we normally race on. Right. It's a street circuit essentially in terms of but just the track layout, and there's carpeted areas we're going to need to go across behind trees and all this sort of thing.
Behind trees, there's vision impaired areas and stuff.
It is going to be just a fun day, really. And hopefully, if you can do it in front of a crowd of several hundreds, maybe even 1,000, I don't know.
That's a new truck.
Yeah,
I thought it was just a new body.
No, it's brand new truck.
He's bringing out all the big guns.
Yeah, aren't you going to christen this? I'm sure you're going to christen this.
Oh, no, Matt's up to. I don't know what he's up to.
You see this receiver here. All we need to do is take it out, put it in a different one, and we'll drive it down the road.
That's right.
That's right. And it'll be christened really well.
That's right. And that is, to me, is ever popular TT01 chassis, isn't it? And this is the very close cousin, the TT02.
Do you have a closer look at it from the top?
Yeah, absolutely. Get it on. When you take
the
big truck body off, it is just very conventional 1/10 scale touring car-esque.
Let's pull that up a bit.
And bulletproof.
Yeah.
We've tested that theory quite a lot at Bendigo.
Well, you put a bullet in it?
Figuratively speaking. Yeah, but no, they do. They go around the track really well, and it's a really fun class to watch too. It draws a lot of spectators to watch the trucks. It's great fun. So hopefully we put on a really good show on Saturday.
Yeah, I think we will. I think it definitely will. Now, what did we do? Talking about fun, what did we do on Sunday, Beach?
Got up to no good.
We got up to no good. So again, we're involved with the Kilo Off-Road Club. And they've got an event coming up. Well, they've got a big event coming up over Easter, actually, called the Palestinian Cup. And their track was open last weekend. We had a beautiful Melbourne afternoon on Sunday, and we took out some comical cars because as much fun as we'd had building it and seeing it and painting it and stuff, we'd never actually seen it go. And we had our reservations about how this car would actually go on the track. And some of you might have seen the videos on Instagram or Facebook that we put up. The car was an absolute blast. Yeah, that is the comical car. That car went for about an hour and a half on one charge.
Well, it didn't run out of battery, did it?
No, we went home before it went flat.
We ran out of light.
The tires worked, the suspension worked, and it was sort of like watching a basketball bounce around the track. It was really cool. Mr. Tony Gray had one there as well, a four-wheel drive one, because we wanted to see if there was any performance difference, if there was any parity issues on track, and definitely not. So we actually had the most fun that we'd had in a long time at the racetrack, and it harks back to what Bendigo's doing with the trucks and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's taking it back to the spirit, isn't it?
The spirit of it.
That's
right.
Having fun.
And as fun as this is, like, you could race this if you had 10 of them, like all very similar. It would be a blast. No, they're not fast. No, they don't do the triples and stuff like that. But they had a blast, and I think you'd really struggle to break one, much like the other entry-level products. It seems the more money we spend and the faster we go, the more we break our cars and have to fix them. You know, whereas things like this, like Dean said, is effectively bulletproof. And we run that thing for an hour, and it would not go flat. Hour and a half. I don't know. I lost count. I didn't have that. It was only on the entry-level transmitter.
We're just doing laps and laps and laps.
We're just doing laps between the three of us. We had young Marlon there. BJ and myself, and we were the car was on track pretty much constantly, much to Simon Healy's pleasure, I suppose.
Pleasure?
That we
were. That's because you were the moving obstacle.
I was moving. Well, I was trying to take him out at every opportunity, which is pretty hard when you've got a car that's going walking speed compared to a greyhound on the track. But it was all the fun nonetheless. It actually didn't get in the way, and it was very drivable. I actually got my re-release frog out on the track.
Yep.
And I was super excited and reliving my childhood and everything. And I put it on the track, and I was doing donuts. Those 40-year-old tires, they just don't seem to work.
Well, not on that surface.
Not on that surface.
On the loose dirt, it was good.
Yeah,
okay,
in the car park and on the AstroTurf, they were great.
Yes.
On the oiled hard pack track, I was doing donuts. I couldn't get around the track.
Yep.
So, I can't blame the 10PX. The 10PX was faultless. I'm sure I could have put the throttle curve and the steering curve and everything down, but
it could have helped you, but
could have helped me, but no. So the 10PX was paired to that. And we had fun, and that's what it was all about. And that was really good to have that sensation of just fun. We didn't even take our competition cars. We just went out there with these.
Yep.
Very minimal tools, and we had so much track time in so little time and heaps of smiles.
Yeah.
No, I really think
it gives you a lot of time to actually move around the pits and catch up with everyone. I mean, either of these classes, right?
Yeah.
And rather than getting too serious and wrenching away all day.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that's really important too, is that social interaction and not just doing your own thing, getting up on the stand, driving, going back, sitting back down. It needs to be a social event.
Yeah, for sure.
It needs to be something that the fun's brought into it, because you can be as fast as you like and win, but if you're not interacting with anybody, are you really enjoying it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So it really is a community. The RC racing really is a communal thing. Everybody's got a similar interest. You can all talk about tires and track and weekend and lunch, and it's really good.
Yeah.
No, that is super cool. What else have we got to touch on today's show? How long have we been going for? I feel a bit naked because I came in like in a whirlwind.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've been going for 40 odd minutes.
Is that it?
Yep.
Wow.
We can talk about lots of stuff.
We can.
We can talk about the election if you like.
Oh, people are going to switch off.
Yeah, sure.
Well, touching on that, so with the Easter Fair, so whereabouts is it exactly? Is there a particular pavilion?
Yeah,
or
so
spot?
Easter Fair kicks on from tomorrow. It starts, but you've got to sort of figure out what you got to do in terms of parking. They have designated areas where they'll do ferrying of cars into the particular area, because the main streets are essentially shut off.
Right.
So where we are is right into the middle of the CBD itself in the mall.
Yep.
It's only just a block down from the main food area in the big park. So we're not too far from the foot traffic. We're hoping to catch a fair bit of it. We've got some big signage up there.
Yep.
It's going to be really interesting because we've got big, large screens in there that's going to be showing it all live and all the timing and that sort of thing.
That's cool.
So
got a PA system and everything.
Got a PA system in there ready to go and a whole lot. So
who's the mic man up there? Who's the MC usually?
Well, I'll probably do a little bit, and I think Mr. Jenkins will as well.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll alternate it through the day, I think.
That's good. I hope there's plenty of penalties and drive-throughs and stuff like that.
Well, I think that's what we'll try and do, right? To get a bit of fun into it.
That's right.
Yep.
No, that is really cool.
We just have to make sure the boys aren't too competitive up there, and we don't want to make it look.
Well, the comical is going to be coming out for a run.
Is he?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
He'll be there cutting laps.
Yep.
He might be the pace car.
Pace car. It'd be easier to see with his pink helmet.
Yeah, that's right. Tony Gray will be much impressed.
That's right.
No, we'll get some more. Get a bit of video, a bit of content.
Yep.
See how it goes on road.
Yeah, for sure.
If nothing else, it's guaranteed to be slow.
Well, I'd love to see what happens with the whole Bendigo event too. So seeing footage from there, I'm sure a lot of people would like to see what it's all about.
Yeah,
we'll get some footage too as much as we can. It's really an unknown for us. It's we'll see how we go. We want to make it such a good show for the festival itself that they want us to be a key part of their events each year. So that's our intention.
Well, back in the early to mid 90s, Templestowe Off-Road Club at the time used to be part of the Warrandyte Community Festival.
Yeah.
And they used to pretty much mow in a track on the banks of the Yarra. It was very much a community thing. And this is back before social medias and everything like that.
Mm.
And we would go there and put on a big day and usually get a lot of club members out of it. So it was cool. And that's what it was about, fun. We didn't even have like timing and stuff back then. We didn't have any of that sort of fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Because the club was all club transponders and that, which we didn't didn't take to those sort of events.
There would have been so many people that would have seen this and not realised it was a thing.
What they were, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just
So
about
it's
getting a bit
really
of exposure.
good. That's right, a bit of exposure, something different, and it's quite refreshing from the racing.
And it'll be fun from the racing perspective. So everybody that's involved from a racing point of view is going to walk away from this day going, that was fantastic. That was something different, something special, right? That they'll remember.
And who knows, we might maybe get more communities, more councils are going to approach more clubs, hopefully, or vice versa, to do such things, moving forward and really expose the hobby for the fun that it is, you know? Like we've had a company, we've had Toyota reach out to us in the last couple of weeks. We have a contract with Toyota to build up a couple of GR86s ready to run. They're doing a trade show or an expo in the coming weeks. So I've got a couple of TTO2s ready to go to Toyota Australia, which is really cool. And that should expose RC as well on some level, just people that have probably never seen it before. They're there because they want to see a Toyota. Next thing, they're driving an RC car, you know. So it's really good to have that energy around RC and the hobby at this stage. I think everybody's had a big couple of years. You know, it's taken its toll on a lot of people. So it's good to be outdoors doing things,
absolutely
having fun. You know,
it's an outlet that people have really jumped to, I think, over the COVID period. We've certainly seen an increase in new members just because they're looking for something to do that's different and they've seen it and said that's for me. And it is something that you can do. Well, all the prep stuff and that you can do it at home on your coffee table effectively. You know what I mean? So you can do it, you can be at home, you don't have to be like outside in a cold shed or go far away. You know, and it's not, you don't need too many specialized tools and it's generally not too dirty, you know. So sitting there doing your shocks while you're watching the footy, that's fine.
That's your thing.
Routine,
Well, these ones don't even have shocks, do they? They just have the old bouncers, spring retainers.
Quick build.
Quick build, that's right. Very quick build, very good. Anything else we'd like? Any more on the Valiant? What color is the Valiant?
Oh, so with the Valiant, I did see something here.
Did you?
I've got a couple here. Hang on.
Hashtag Heidi's
getting
it.
So Anthony's come in here and he said, "Is it silver grey?" It's not silver grey, is it? It doesn't look silver grey.
Doesn't look silver grey. No.
Okay, so it's not silver grey. Oh, and then he's come up and he said, "How about luminous turquoise?" I don't think it's very luminous at all. Yeah.
It's definitely not luminous.
No. So we've still got the color.
So nobody knows the color, and that's the one thing that I thought that they would Google straight up. So they've got the make, the model, and the year.
But we've got Aaron Young here talking about Bendigo as well. So
have you?
There we go. Aaron loves Bendigo. Great atmosphere, so welcoming. A variety of classes is great and entertaining with young and old there. Always look forward to having a race day there.
That's right. Aaron and the Beard have an awesome time up there. They love it. And Roscoe goes up too.
Yeah, Roscoe comes with him.
Hey, they absolutely love their RC, those guys. They're really good, and it's members like that that really help them flourish.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jeff too. Jeff obviously loves it there.
Yep. All right, guys. Unless we've got something really good to go on with, I think we should wind this one up, Beach.
You reckon? Well, I just had some plastic kits I was going to show.
Show us.
Well, just quickly. I had these.
Do you do models too?
No. I don't have time to do models.
Do you want to stick around for this?
Sure.
You can stick around for this.
Look at this. We got these Raffle Top Gun Maverick Kits.
There was something on these about 18 months ago, no?
Well, we got these about that time ago.
Did
and that was when the movie was meant to come out.
Yeah.
Okay, but the movie's actually going to come out now, apparently.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's May.
And we used to have a wild man here, Nathan. Remember? He busted into the set singing some song. I didn't get it. Hey?
That's right.
But yeah. So this is the 2022 Top Gun, yeah? I've seen it on my Facebook feed somehow. I don't know. I've not.
So there's a Top Gun, right?
What's a Top Gun?
Haven't you seen the original Top Gun?
No, mate.
What is wrong with you? Okay, so we've got the F-14. Okay,
Plenty.
This is from the original movie. Okay, and then from the Maverick, it looks like he hasn't really progressed anywhere, but he's gone into an F-18. Okay, so that's his Maverick's new plane. And these are the easy clicking type ones.
Is it meant to have blue stripes on it?
Well, apparently they're on it. I don't know. We'll have to ask Tom.
Looks like somebody's left the masking tape.
You reckon?
I don't know.
I don't know how to answer that. So I'll keep going. So, yeah, so we got those in. So
that's about my level, 10 plus.
Is it?
I reckon I could do that. It's got 20 parts.
Yep, this one's got 14.
I reckon we could do a challenge one day. Building them on the live.
Who are you challenging?
I don't know. Okay.
But then I've got this little funny fella.
Uh-oh. What have you been up to?
I don't know.
What have you been buying?
Whenever I see this, I'll always think of a tomato, right?
A tomato.
Because it's like tomato.
I'm thinking of Uncle Tetsu's cheesecake.
Oh, you like Uncle Ted's chips? They're not bad, are they? They're so light and fluffy. Oh, enough about that. All right, so we've had these in different colors before. I really don't understand what this sort of cute robot's all about, but it looks like he's got a big laser gun or an arm up there, so he's passive aggressive.
He looks way too nice to have a laser, mate.
You reckon?
Maybe it's just a telescope. Maybe it's just so I can see.
Be, but it's sort of pretty cute. It's got this little skeleton, so you feel like you're building the whole thing all the way, and then you can customize. So that definitely looks like a gun, doesn't it? And then over here it looks like a little grabber thing. I don't know, but either way, we've got those in. They're a bit funny. Okay, and
what else have you got?
I found this. This is sort of Easter related.
Easter?
Yeah, because look, rabbit.
Bunny?
Rabbits.
What has that got to do with Easter?
Looks like a rabbit.
Does it?
Yeah, an aggressive rabbit.
There's no better kind.
No, that's right. They didn't quite work, did it? But that's all I could find for Easter, unfortunately, because we're moving into a big Easter break. All right, with that, we got this sucker.
What is that?
He's a fang tiger.
What'd you call me?
A fang tiger.
Right. I know Dean's gone really quiet now.
So this is from Zoids. Okay, so Zoids was a really, I think it was a pretty popular animation.
We have to ask Simon
ages
Healy.
ago.
I have to ask Simon Healy about that.
He's right into these, isn't he? And I haven't really come across a fang tiger before, but all the other types of Zoids have been really popular, and we haven't had these for a while, and they're back. So really big kit, coat of book here. There's a HMM series, which is the high grade type. Lots of joints, so you can actually play around with these after you put them together. So they just press together, don't need any glue. It's like that. You know, he's got his eyes that change, and
hopefully it all calms down a bit next week. We can get stuck into our builds again.
That's right.
We should have some videos coming out though on some builds. We have. So the E819RS, does that have another episode to come out? That hasn't been touched.
Yes, there is another one coming out soon.
So that one should come out. We've got another episode with Simon Healy. That should be coming out.
Yep. And we've got this, which has just been released to newsletter subscribers. So everyone else will be able to see that in about a week or so. So I've started on our exclusive Blockhead Night Customs version.
Yep.
This is number 1 of 10. So this is going to be available after it's been finished. It's going to have a few extra bits, and it's going to have a fully painted engine as well.
Full painted engine.
Yeah.
What color?
Nice. Huh?
What color engine? Well, is it going to be like Cleveland blue or Holden red or Chevy orange?
Raw aluminium.
Yeah, raw aluminium.
No.
Couldn't afford paint.
No. It's expensive.
Yeah, that's right. Oh well, I'll let you off with that one. But yeah, so we've got some builds, the Simon Healy build.
Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to getting those released into the wilderness and getting stuck back into next week. Been a bit snowed under this week, so.
How about we have a close look at this? Did we work out what the color was?
We didn't. I think we're gonna have to tell them. If nobody's come up with it.
Look at this. Like,
what?
Let me zoom in on it so everyone can actually see it now, right?
Zoom me.
Oh, I've gone to.
What have you done?
I've gone to my limits.
Classic over zoom.
There we go.
There you go.
How's that?
Well,
I have to leave it like that. All right. So what do we got here? Is it still in focus? Is that a focus? Yeah. Oh, look at that.
How's the gloss on it? That's out of control.
So out of control.
That is the Road Rages series. It's like an Australian series, Australian manufacturer who makes 1/87 scale stuff.
Yep.
And I thought we'd have that on for the car of the week, just to let people know that we have them. So, like Marlon alluded to at the start of the show, yes, they go perfect with your HO builds, and yeah, you can get your Australian cars because usually most of the cars that we get from Oxford and so on, they're all English and some American, aren't they?
That's right. What was the color again?
Gambler blue.
What? Yep. I haven't seen any gamblers this color.
Have you?
No.
Gambler blue.
Is that for real?
Well, they probably have the blues once they've lost all their money.
Yeah, that's probably true.
No? I don't know. And you can I can see now why I thought it had pink windows, because from side on with the red interior or whatever. It does
yeah. Well, I guess it looks like that, doesn't it?
Well, to me
That's a big contrast, isn't it, compared to the Duco?
The what?
Duco.
Bodywork. Yeah, absolutely. Gambler blue.
Gambler blue.
All right, I think we should sign off, Beach.
Is that it? Are you sure?
There's people kicking down the door to get in.
Well, there you go. Well, that gives you an idea of the size of that
That's
little sucker.
Easter. Isn't it tiny?
Gee, you really picked a hard one, didn't you?
Well, I tried. I try. Well, everybody guesses it the first thing.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Ferrari.
Yeah.
You know, it's a Lamborghini Countach. It's no.
That's true. That's true.
And there's only like 4 colors, so they just
Yeah.
get it straight away.
Well, that might be the end of it, right? Because we're going to have to spend a bit of time, put a receiver in this, and drive down the road.
Yeah. Have to christen that body for Maddie.
That's right. You know, there's a few marks across the top here, and then you've got to break off a few of those, and then they'll be set for racing.
Absolutely, it will.
But yeah, just as a reminder, we've got the big Easter show.
Got the Big Easter show.
Yep.
Keilor Off-Road Club's got their Palestinian Cup,
Yep.
which is Friday practice. Like, it's just turn down and practice. It's not really sanctioned practice.
Yep.
And Saturday and Sunday racing.
Yep.
So it's a big 2-day race.
Yep, that's off-road.
Down there, off-road. That's part of the Victorian Driver Series, I believe.
Yep.
So I'll be there. Big numbers down there. The weather's looking good. Track's just had work done. So they's going to be super fast down there. They're going to have heaps of entries. A lot of off-road stuff. So that's down at Keilor. And then up at Bendigo on Saturday, we've got the Easter Fair.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, and we've got the Bendigo Club raffling off Tamiya truck package. Get it racing
It'll be
package.
drawn about 4 o'clock, I think.
On
we'll be
Saturday?
drawing it on
Okay.
Saturday.
So hopefully we can hopefully we can sell thousands of tickets to the community, raise money for the club.
Yep.
Um,
And you can buy those tickets online too. If you go to the bendigorccarclub.com website, the tickets are available for sale on there as well. You don't necessarily need to be at the event to buy them.
So we've got Matty Jenkins on.
when?
He must have heard.
What did
He
he
must
hear?
have heard, because this is what he said.
He's not allowed to comment. What did he say?
We're going to have to deal with Harrison with scratches.
That is right. That is right. Now, young Harry will get it pristine and unmarked.
Yep.
Other than I might have snuck a few stickers on there, whether he can see them or not.
Yeah.
I snuck a few on there just to add a touch more class to Maddie's already awesome
That's
paintwork.
Excellent.
That is the best paintwork I've seen come out of him yet. I think that is
Nice.
He's
really
getting
cool.
better and better.
Yeah, each one.
We try not to tell him that though. He won't be listening,
No,
surely.
you'll get a really big head.
But he does it for himself, doesn't he? He loves it.
He
He
does.
absolutely loves it. I don't know how, but he loves it.
It's cool.
All
There
right,
we
guys.
go. So that's our Easter edition, I guess. So
Easter edition.
Yep,
We must
everyone.
be coming up to the show 100 next week.
yes,
Is
next
it
week we're going to think of something
Is it?
special.
100?
So
I might have
write down all your ideas.
I
Put
might
them
have
on a
to-
piece of paper
I
because we're
might
going to
have
have to
to-
vet them because some of them, I don't know. They
I
be
might
a bit
have to
risky.
don the apron and cook something up.
Oh, cooking.
Yep. That is
We'll make
really
a meal
cool.
of it.
Show 100. If I'm involved, it probably will be a meal of, yep.
Good stuff. Well, in the meantime, make your way out to all these events.
Yep.
You know, either one. On road, you're going to be up at
Bendigo. Yep.
and then off road at Keilor.
Yep.
And then if anyone sees this guy out there,
Yep.
please say hello. Give him a little bit of a hard time because he deserves it.
Yep.
And it should be great.
That will definitely be great. Whatever happens, it will be great.
Mm.
Everybody, please have a safe and fun Easter.
Yep.
We've all earned a break.
Yep.
Some of us are getting one. Let's hope that Easter Bunny comes to you.
That's right.
No worries,
Right.
guys.
Yep. And thanks for Dean for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Super special thank you for Dean. And we're going to take him shopping now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I come down for.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
No
All right.
worries.
Well, wherever you are in the world, stay safe.
And
And-
thanks for watching.
That's right. Thank you. See you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.